True, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You already know what time it is. I'm your host, Zach Valentine. You are now tuned in to another episode of the hottest podcast in the Bullet Game. True Beats Podcast, Muscle Bullet, episode 19. Y'all know how the game goes. Leave them questions in a question mark. Get them questions answered. Put your name on the wheel. Spin the wheel. Get you a gift for the free. If you never tuned in before, we appreciate you tuning in. If you have tuned in, make sure you live share this. Hit the button. Tap that thing. Show some love. Hit them hearts. You guys already know what time it is. True Beats. Where we at? They coming in. Let's get my... Boom.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
Are we just waiting on one more, right?
Yep.
Hey, guys, so tonight, contest, you know how to enter. I'm sure Zach already told you guys, but what you need to do is ask us a quality question in the question box. It needs to be a quality question. If you're going to just leave a question just to try to win something, we're probably not going to read it, and you're probably not going to be entered. So we're looking for quality questions to be entered in the question box. This whole thing is with this whole podcast, I mean, our goal isn't to just have you come on and just win giveaways. Our goal is to bring you value. And in order to bring you value in a relationship, you need to bring us value back. We're trying to grow this brand. We're trying to grow this podcast. We're not trying to we're not charging people. We're not bringing other people's sponsorships on this so we can just fill it up with a bunch of just junk. We're trying to bring you value. So pay the fee, pay the dues, do us a solid in return in order for us to build a better relationship and share and ask quality questions and try to, help, new people that's in this game and is just trying to follow this bully community and support the bully community by, asking a quality question. It's really that simple.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Roger?
Oh,
Probably ain't welcome, no good.
I'm here. Wouldn't let me join for some reason. Didn't
It's
give
all
me the
boys
option.
club. That's why.
Yeah, you got to know that.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shaper thing, right?
It's okay, man.
Judgmental.
We all, well, I guess, maybe Zach has that solid, I guess we all have a solid relationship. So tonight's episode, man, I know we didn't want to discuss it. We were supposed to have a guest who wasn't able to make it tonight due to family emergency. So we wanted to go ahead and talk about how to build powerful relationships and the importance of building these powerful relationships if you're going to create a network that is going to help you really kick ass and make a name and build your brand in this community. Yeah. And so
Absolutely.
Zach, I know, for those who don't know, Zach is a graphic designer. He edits videos. He's I'd say an all-around marketer. He's somebody that I was able to meet and network with here within this community through other relationships, who caught notice he brought value first, and he messaged me one day, and he's one of these guys, man, who does breeding banners and does great graphic work, and so I had to bring him on board to join our team. And with that being said, this guy right here puts out quality work, man, and he's building a network and relationships by doing quality work with breeding banners. So he gets access to like all these exclusive breedings that a lot of us don't even know about, and because he keeps everything confidential. As far as Roger goes, Roger is a entrepreneur and business owner, and he's building a brand just through building a quality product in the bully community. I mean, he's got some straight up fire, and he brings a lot of value. And of course, you know what I do, with products and stuff. So we have a lot of value to bring you if you're really trying to build a legit brand and business. And we got to, I think, as I talked to Zach today, I feel like, we have a perfect storm in this trio because there's some relationships that Roger has that he can bring on to as guests on this podcast. I have personal relationships with a lot of entrepreneurs and dog trainers as well. And Zach has a handful of solid relationships as well. And so we're always going to be able to bring you some quality guests. I mean, our next two guests are who, Zach?
We got Hannah and Dr. O.
So we got a national champion winner.
Dr. O is this Thursday.
Oh, yeah. So Dr. O is not just an animal. Yeah. He's not just an animal chiropractor. He is a licensed veterinarian. Him and his wife actually certify animal chiropractic, and they run a school called ACEs. It's all creatures, every spine. So he's worked more than just dogs, obviously horses. I know he did studies on giraffes. He's messed with a lot of different spines on different animals, and I've literally watched him take dogs, and you'd send him in gait at a show, and then he'd bring him back, and he would just make an adjustment, and the gait just improved right in front of you. You're like, holy shit, right? This guy's got some. But the whole point of bringing him on here is to give you guys access to as our viewers, to a quality veterinarian who's going to be honest with you about the industry. This guy's he's an advocate raw feeder. He's going to give it to you real, like he's a veterinarian, but he's not like your normal veterinarian. You know what I mean? Like he's going to keep it real with us. So it's going to be interesting, man, to see the value that he brings to our audience. And obviously I wanted to bring him on so you guys can network with him.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to learn too. That's going to be super dope. Just, somebody that much intel like that, man. I never really, I knew chiropractic was a thing, but I never knew like towards animals until, you get on YouTube and then you start seeing these clips and you're like, what? Hold up. Then you get lost in the rabbit hole and you're watching this shit for hours. But it's interesting, but like actual chiropractors will preach chiropractic work over science and medicine. Like they'll say like before surgery or before you take a bunch of pills or this and that, come see a chiropractor, get aligned, make sure everything's where it's supposed to be, and you should probably see better results before you have to go that far. So it's gonna be dope, man.
So let's talk about, how to build powerful relationships in networks. So what would be some of the key, let's just say, what would be the first thing you would do if you're in the bully community or any type of community when it comes to building a relationship? One of the things that I say you should do first, if I'm trying to build a relationship, I would say bring value first. That's one of the notes that I have on here. And I felt like every relationship that I've ever built or any room that I've ever wanted to get into, I always, I brought value first.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, I think it's like I don't know, maybe just like a couple of different ways you can approach it. So we see peer networks, right? Where people are in the community, everyone's on the same level, or all the kind of same level breeder, and they just work together as a team to help promote each other. And that's super smart. We see that with like BWO, that kind of thing. Like it's more of a collective group, even though they're individual people or individual breeders. And that's a great method because you can share knowledge among the group as long as someone has that knowledge, that can be shared amongst the group. But then you've got what you would call a mentor network, right? So you become part of either a group or another person that has more information than you, and then you learn through them. So kind of depends. The latter is probably hard to get in. You know what I mean? It's like not many people get that opportunity. But I think that's probably I can't think of any other method. With people.
I mean, your first interaction when you buy a dog, right? That's going to be you're going to meet a breeder. So hopefully you meet somebody that's really worth a damn. That way you can actually. That there builds your first relationship, right? So now you got a breeder in the game. You bought a dog from them.
Right.
And as long as you're not like that aggravating person that's in their inbox like every 20 minutes, like, hey, what do you think? Or hey, like just constantly bothering them.
Yeah.
Most of these people will guide you and direct you, especially if you've done business with them, right? So now you got that. And then like Stan said, you got to kind of just establish yourself first before you kind of go around like kind of coattailing like hey, just kind of establish a name for yourself and then just build relationships genuinely. Don't go into it looking for anything. If you are, bring value to where they can give you value for what you bring. But that's the thing. It's about building genuine relationships, right? It's not about the ones that there's hidden alternatives or motives or scenarios or situations where you got to think twice about things. It's genuine relationships that usually work the best because there's no hidden motives. So I personally feel like nobody likes that person that just is on everybody's team.
Yeah.
Right? Like The person that's usually like on everybody's team is usually like, yeah, I'm cool. Like you cool with everybody, but then you know what I mean. Like you don't want to be that guy that's just like going around like trying to get in where you fit in. Establish yourself first, and then people will genuinely come to you and recognize what you got going on.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think some of them will find, instead of trying to bug in everybody, trying to find somewhere to fit in, just do your thing, and people will find you. And there's probably
Roger, you built a pretty good relationship. I mean, you have a solid relationship with Sam, and you and Dina do. How did that relationship initially start? How did you venture your way over there? Because you're fairly new in the game. I mean, we would say that you were young in the game, but your network is amazing.
All right. Well, the weird part is, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know, it was just one of those things that just happened. And I'm sure I could probably ask him, like, what were the reasons, but, you know, it became a friendship. It first started out as, you know, we're going to buy a dog. And then it just became a friendship as we went along. So, and now we work together tight, like every day. We're dealing with each other, or Dina or somebody, you know, we're always, our family and his family are close. So, but I think if you look back, you know, it's, if you find yourself a breeder of like that caliber, because not only did you meet a breeder that had an established reputation, that had, you know, established breeding program, that had all these established protocols for shipping and collecting and all this other stuff. It was all already established, right? So you just automatically inherit that. If you're in a situation like I was in, where we co-owned a dog, so the dog is his dog and it's my dog, right? So in that case, the breeder's always going to give you whatever information you need, because it's his dog too.
Sure.
You know, he wants his dog taken care of. So beyond, if I'm looking beyond the friendship part of it and just say, you know, if we were just, you know, we were just co-owned, period, you know, he would still provide me
at the end of the day,
because it's his dog too. So, I mean, that's a huge benefit if you co-own with the right.
Yeah. Same situation with buying your first dog, right? Like, that's what I was saying. Hopefully you meet somebody that is actually going to tell you some good shit.
And then when I met Sam the same day, we met Hannah and Jim. Right. So Jim, one of the premier photographers in the American Bully community. And then Hannah, you know, one of the best handlers in the American Bully community. So there was 3 points of contact right there in one day. Now they could have easily just sold a dog and been like, I got an asshole, I'm not talking to him anymore. You know, but we just clicked. You know, we started, you know, I shared that video today of the very first show we ever went to with Kimber. Was in Louisiana, and we had Hannah handle her. You know what I mean? And Hannah's handled every one of our dogs since then. She took Precious to Grand Champion. She took Kimber to Grand Champion. So it's just establishing those relationships over a period of time.
And doing great business and being a person of your word and following through, shit like that. I mean, I see some. Go ahead.
Well, well, I'm just saying, the weird part is that's just who we are. You know what I mean? Like, we don't, like, be honest. I mean, that's what we are. We be honest, and, you know, we genuinely care about these people. Like, they need our help, we're there. You know what I mean? It's a give and take relationship. So it's not like they help us with all this shit and we're just like, hey, cool, thanks, you know, and then we go home. You know, we're there for them too if they need us. We pitch in with Hannah, you know, do whatever we can do with Sam. So I think when you talk about bringing value, you have to look and say, hey, if I'm going to approach this breeder, what do I bring to him? Like, do I have a facility? Can I train dogs? Can I handle dogs? Do I know how to whelp? Like, what do I bring to him? Because if all you bring is money, you're probably not getting that dog. That dog. You know what I mean?
That makes a lot of sense, man. As far as just like, it seems like now, as the community continues to grow, not everybody can keep everything at their facilities, you know, and they're looking for more co-ownership, great quality co-owner partnerships. Yeah. And it's just a really interesting thing, because like when you look at how I always see the community and how I've seen the community, and why I kind of like, I keep a distance. You know what I mean? Like I'm immersed in the community and I follow the community, but I don't immerse myself too close, because at the end of the day, man, a lot of people I would say would it be a fair statement to say a high percentage, like 95% of individuals go into it and are looking at the situation or relationship as what can this person bring to me first? Right? Like it always seems that way. It seems like, and if they can't get nothing from you, then all of a sudden they're going to turn on you for no reason. They don't have to know you. They just know that, well, you didn't respond to my DM, or, I asked you a question on your post and you didn't respond, and it's just really interesting, man, that if you can go the opposite direction. Like before I got to know Khan, I probably liked and supported and commented on his post for 2 years. I was a fan of his dogs way back then, before I actually established a relationship with him. And there was probably countless amount of times where I would leave questions on his post and he never responded, but I didn't take it personal.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I've never talked to him. Never talked to him.
Ruth is
talked to his wife.
Amazing.
But Ruth. But I've never.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've just never crossed paths. You know what I mean? I've always dealt with Sam. That's where
I've never talked to him. I met him personally. I met him on the show. We interviewed him on here, and he came on the show. We got him coming back soon too.
Right.
It's hard, man. But if you're trying to build a dynasty, right, like a lucrative business out of this, then that's the mindset you have to have. Like you have to have a team in anything you do. You just got to have. It's your network, right? Like that's what you're building for a reason. And some people abuse it. Some people don't understand what it's meant for. And that's one of the best situations to put yourself in, is around a bunch of people with the same vision, with the same operation, that's trying to get to the same common goal. Right. So,
Right. And I think there's a lot of when it comes to the expectation of some individuals, they get in it, they try to get a certain blood, they get the blood and they feel like they can cut ties. But what they don't understand is that, like, you're cutting ties for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to cut ties because you're trying to sell more dogs to the community, when you should be trying to develop networks to the point where, like, I see certain individuals, man, who are very successful, like, shit, I don't have anything available. Does anybody have anything off my stock available? They'll say a certain stud. Hey, do you got something off Grimm? Do you have something off, Machiavelli? Or, you know what I mean? And because I don't have anything available. And that's the important part of that network. And people burn those bridges and they ruin those relationships for no reason, for short-term no gain in reality.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, the reality of it is, as a stud owner, you want your clients to be successful. Now, depending on how busy you are is how involved you can be with your clients. You know what I mean? Some of these guys are super busy. They don't have time to shout out every person that locks their dog in, and some people don't want that. They don't have time to post every time they see someone post up puppies off their stud. Luckily, I do have a good amount of people that will message me, and I always try to tell them when they lock him in, hey, when the pups drop, send me photos, to try to get, I want to help promote the dog. But I just don't have time to go search down their profile every week or so to try to get new photos. Like, if you don't send them to me, then they're not getting posted. But it benefits both of us. I'm going to promote your litter, but at the same time, other people get to see productions off your stud. So that makes a ton of sense. Like, you should be cooperative in that manner and you're kind of building a network there a little bit, because you made contact with that stud owner, and this interaction is not just one time. It's over the whole period of where you drop the puppies. They're 8 weeks, you're promoting them. And that stud owner will probably help out in a lot of ways by posting those puppies. Yeah, my situation is just a bad example, I guess, or an exception example, because I became friends with these people. I became friends with Sam and Hannah and Jim, where most people in that instance don't. They're just they just draw the line at co-own. They don't actually go beyond that. So how involved a co-own is, I'm not 100% sure at this point. You know what I mean? I kind of know how involved we were before that level changed. But
well, I think Zach hit it on the head earlier when he talked about genuine support. You can tell the difference between someone who's genuinely supporting you versus someone who is supporting you with the intentions of getting something in return. Or
just trendy. Like you might be the next hype handler, you might be the next hype drop the hottest litter this week, and it's like you could you'll see people that'll come out of nowhere and start trying to, hey, what's up, bro? What's so that it's noticeable type shit, but that's everyday life. It doesn't come with the dog game. I mean, if you're the best athlete in the world, fuck, everybody's gonna ride you. Like, look how many people are dogging Tom Brady right now because he just got dogged the other night. You know what I'm saying? Like, now everybody's like, oh, he sucks, yeah, bro. You know, he doesn't have an offensive line.
Yeah.
But some people will try to ride that brand out. You get your co-own with a certain breeder, and you're going to try to ride that brand out.
Oh yeah.
Trying to say, hey, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Triple S bullies. They're always plugging it. And I guess that was kind of different. Like, I do it every once in a while, and not to be disrespectful to Sam, but like I told him, if these studs build a reputation, I want them to build the reputation of the work I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to have to lean on you.
He probably does. He doesn't have the energy for that shit anyways, man.
That's where it boils down to being in a good situation around good people, because I got a co-own that my buddy ain't gonna fucking trip if I post a picture and don't put his kennel in front, and I don't. But it's not like I'm not stealing the paperwork. It's just like I post a picture of a dog. Y'all see how I do? Half the time I don't even fucking say nothing about the dog's name, but he's not gonna call me and be like, hey, bro, you need to be putting in front of the dog's name when you post it on social media. Like, it's about being around genuine people. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It depends on the circumstances. Like, there are circumstances where I feel like you should definitely put it on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if it's some absolute promotion. But if you just take a video of the dog running around the yard, you're like, hey, here's Machiavelli being a dickhead.
Exactly.
You don't have to go through all that shit just to do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Some people are hardcore about it, and then other breeders,
I see whole like fallouts and arguments, and they just over not doing it. And I'm like, damn, man, doing it. Like that's just crazy.
That's an exhausting relationship, though. Like, I can see both points. I used to have people where like they would have zero following, and they literally, like, I would post, it would be like some mixed breed mutt dog, and they, with the vest on, and I would just post it, talking about the benefits of the product, and they're like, well, you need to tag me. And I don't even know, you know what I mean? Like it was like they're like, it was almost like they thought that if I posted their photo, that from that photo, who had 20 likes, that we generated 10 bands that day. You know what I'm saying? And they wanted their percentage of the cut. And then when they would do that, I was like, listen, man, like, that's exhausting. So like, if you want us to promote, your dog or your photo, if you don't, cool, we'll just take it down. Like, it's not a big deal, but it just, the approach could have been different. If you would just come up and say, hey man, if you mind tagging me in, any post next time when you use the dog, I greatly appreciate it. All day. But when you come like aggressive, like, that shit's just exhausting.
Well, it's so much easier to do is someone posts, you take someone's photo and post it because they got a nice dog.
Or just
them just go in the comments and say, hey, dog, thanks for posting.
I'm gonna
my
DM
dog.
you
That's
and be
awesome.
like, can I get
like,
Can I get
Now
this? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
I just learned this.
I need this. I need a percentage. Like,
well, now what I do is, if somebody
crazy.
does a post, I just share it, and it just has their handle on it. It cuts all that crap out. But what's your thoughts about becoming a fan of somebody's dog? Like, and I see what you're saying too, Roger, when it comes to saying, like, you need to put in the work. Let me go back, because I want to backtrack on that. In the community, let's just be quite honest, man. Like, if you have a badass dog, the people will know you. If your product isn't that good, or it's subpar, it's not standoutish, you're not going to get a lot of traction. I've seen some people, man, I've never heard of, but their dog was bad. Matter of fact, Precious was one of those dogs. I'm like, who the fuck is Precious? And then, like, it took me a while to figure out who owned Precious, because it was like some handler was standing behind the dog, in your main photo. And I'm like, this shit doesn't match, but I figured it out. But your dog, Precious, was such a quality dog that I went and I did the footwork to try to figure out who owns this fucking dog, man, And I think a lot of people get butthurt because they're like, man, why ain't nobody showing me love? Well, the truth is, your dog's not that hot. I mean, that's just a fact.
Well, I mean, just never expect it. You know what I mean? Should never expect it. and we can spin that into that question that's pinned, like, how can a small time breeder reach a bigger audience? Like, there is no replacement. I don't care who you're associated with. There is no replacement for getting your ass out there. Get your dog at the shows, even if it doesn't show. You know how many dogs are successful dogs
No, I mean,
that never step
honestly,
into
like
the show ring?
that was one of the questions we got right here. How can another, what does it say? How can a smaller time breeder reach a bigger audience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just
right.
I'm prime example. None of these people knew me a year ago. You know, like I had dogs and I was chilling. I was content. My brother, who's part of my operation, was like, "Hey, we need to go to these shows. We need to go out here and do this shit." And it took us to a whole nother level that I started to see opportunities in for my own brand, right? And all it is legwork for a solid year. I mean, James and Hammond asked me one time at a show. James was like, "Hey, man, where you from?" And I was like, told him where I was from, and he was like, "Oh man, well," I was like, "Why? What's up?" He's like, "Bro, we just see y'all everywhere that we didn't know, we really truly didn't know where you're from, because you'll be at the East Coast show, you'll be at the South show, you in Texas, like." But it took me doing that to get people to know my brand, for one, and to meet all the people that I've met in the community to get to a bigger audience. But then it falls on your legwork, the constant promotion, the constant marketing. But here's the pitch. Here's the kicker. Here's what a lot of y'all don't understand. You can spend $1 million to market the shittiest product and nobody will give a fuck. So make sure you have something of quality. Make sure you have a dog that's worth it, and everything will fall in place if that's what it is. But other than that, you got to have something of good quality. Yeah.
Well, that and be good
genuine,
people. You
humble,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird, because I see people, like, we'll post something online, and that Dina and I get that a lot, where people are like, "Yeah, you guys are just genuine people," and I'm like, "We're just being us. Like, we're not going out of our way to do anything." But I'm like, it makes you think, it's like, how many people are just
well, we have a hard, like,
community?
even with this podcast, it's taken us some episodes. It's going to take us a lot more episodes. There's some guests that I really want to bring on, but they're not quite for sure if it's safe to come on,
right. Well, they don't want to get
because that's how the community is, and it's just like it's in order to I think one of the things that helps us stand out is that we are bringing on some quality guests. We have some great relationships that are established, and those great relationships are now co-signing us, and we're just constantly doing the footwork. We're showing up every Monday, and then we're adding more days, and we're doing we're investing time into continuously building more and more relationships. We've had a lot of people tell us no. I mean, but it didn't stop us.
I've asked people that didn't want to come on at first, and then after they seen a couple episodes, they hit us back and was like, "Hey, I'll get on it now."
Well, I mean, think about that. Every other podcast that's bully related, their content is complete drama. That's the only thing is that if there was 1 week where there was no drama in the community, they wouldn't have a show.
Drama sells.
They didn't have nothing to talk about.
Let's see. Beat the Odds Kendall says, and everybody's on the same thing tonight. They want to know how you get in that first motion of when y'all first got in the game and went into the shows. Were you a little nervous to approach big name breeders? If so, what was the icebreaker? This is life, right? If I genuinely, if you don't give me that like vibe that you are, hey, what's up? You'll just know, like, it's not about going to each person or the hottest person. Like, build the relationship off a genuine situation. Bump into them outside. Hey, how you doing? Talk to them in the ring. Like, don't just go to a show with a mission to go talk to one person to be like, hey, I need to fuck with you. Like, that's just weird. That's weird shit, first of all. Yeah, like, that's fucking super weird. You drove 8 hours to get here just to come to me and be like, hey, but just let it happen, man. Like, if it's that serious, just say, hey.
There's a thing called sensory acuity. You can read people's body language. You can, read people's energy. I'm so good at it now because I've been in sales in a way for so long, that I catch people's vibes, and it's hard to train that because, like I try to train my staff now. Like we're going back. I was like, man, like you guys have to pick up every single order. You need to pick up the phone and build a personal relationship with everybody you possibly can. Some people are going to say this is fucking weird because it's not normal for a company to pick up the phone and say, hey man, hey, this is Stan. I'm just letting you know, man, that your order's taken care of. Writing these handwritten letters and stuff like that. If you want to go to a show, I guarantee if you do this, go to a show, go to every booth, look up everybody, just go to the booth and say, hey man, do you have an Instagram handle? I want to follow you. I'm a fan of your dogs. I like what you're doing. My name is, say your name, shake their hands, ask. Trust me, man. Majority of people in the dog game vicariously live through their dogs. I don't care what anybody, they can be in denial all the fuck they want. They want to show off their dogs. And if they can get an additional fan and support, they're going to do whatever they can. I think it's just, you got to have some stones and go up and say, hey, I'm going to follow you. Follow them first. Shake their hand. Get to know them. Then write yourself down a list of all the people that you followed at that show, and then follow up with them and reach out with them and just say, hey, man, thank you for taking the time out. Most people won't take the time out to even give me the time of day to even talk to me. I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate it.
Right.
Do that. I guarantee you your network will fucking grow so fast, it'll be like throwing gasoline on fire.
Yeah.
So here's two things to that original question. One, when you go to a show, the biggest
9 times out of
aren't
10.
there.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10.
Their dogs are there. Their dogs are there. They're not there. Okay. 2, even if they are there, and even if they are interested in possibly creating some kind of relationship with somebody or some kind of co-ownership with somebody, the last people they're going to choose is the people that approach them. Right? They choose who they want to, because they go to the shows and they see the people that are hustling. They see the people that are in the ring. They see people that are really good at showing dogs, but they don't have quality dogs. Maybe they're a junior handler. Maybe, there's a bunch of things. So you go to the show, you observe people, and then you approach those people as the breeder and say, hey, I have a situation. If you're interested, let's talk about that. But if someone just walked up to me and said, hey, man, I want to co-own a dog with you, I mean, there's a short list of people that would actually click with me. You know what I mean? I'm just going to be like, nice to meet you. Like,
exactly. It's
I don't know shit
like
about
I said
you, so
a minute ago, it's fucking weird, bro. Like, I don't know you, but you know everything about me because of social media. That's the thing.
Be there. Just be there. Because if I go to 10 shows and you're there and you're in the ring and you're working hard, you're talking to the judges, you're making an effort, you're being social. I see you at all these shows. Maybe then if you approach me, it'd be different. But more than likely, if I thought there was real value there, if I really thought you were that motivated,
I think the common theme too is that a lot of people want to cut corners. There's no fucking cutting corners, man. You got to do the work.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do once you build a relationship? Not do the work? You still have to do the work. So, like the value doesn't end once the relationship starts. It begins, and you better continue to bring it.
Right. And here's the other thing. If let me tell you this, I'm gonna tell you what. Most people are not prepared. I'll just tell you that. If some breeder decides, yes, I'm going to co-own with you, it becomes it goes beyond no days off. It's like you got a few hours off situation. God forbid if your stud is popular, like you best be ready to be busy.
Yeah.
You best be ready to run your ass off. And if you got a female and you're the one doing the breedings with him, you better be ready for that too. So I think most people are like, they want to jump into it. They want to be gung-ho, right? But at the same time, these established breeders say, I know how much work this is going to be. And I don't know if this person really knows the amount of work that this is going to be. Where will they be able to do that? Yeah, if you work, I don't know, 80 hours, how are we going to work that out? So you got an 80-hour job.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you going to be able to do all this stuff? You know what I mean? It's tough. So you just got to be realistic about your goals. And you're going to have to work. If you have to work an 80-hour job, then you need to just do as much bully shit as you can. And then as you grow, then you can expand. Maybe you'll be able to quit that job one day. but don't take on more don't go to a breeder and act like you're going to be able to, do everything, right? And then end up not being able to do anything, right? Because that's a contract where you both own, and he probably will come and get his dog. He has the right to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I learned that firsthand too. With co-owning a Bravado, I missed about 5 or 6 breedings because I wasn't actually prepared. I didn't have the right veterinarian to that was close enough to help me out, and I wasn't experienced in pulling. So Con set me up to win. You know what I mean? I'm not like Zach. Zach he's got calluses on his hands, and they're perfect. His hands are soft, and his dogs love it. But for me, I
don't even need a teaser.
But because of that inexperience, now I've again went network. I identified the problem. Problem solved now. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm ready to go. Right. And
but you like me are like, okay, I took on this responsibility, and the worst thing that can happen to me is me fuck up, because at that point, there's nothing that Sam could have said to me at the moment that I screwed something up that would have made any harder than I was on myself.
Yeah,
I'm like, that will never happen again. And that kind of it's just that kind of responsibility.
Yeah,
a lot of people take that seriously. They're just like, I'm not going to screw this shit up again. Like, I can't do that. So it's just personal responsibility.
All right, here we go. We got a question. What would be your top choice to feed raw that can be picked up at the local grocery store?
That's just a really in-depth question, to be honest with you.
It is, and I also feel like that's the biggest reason why a lot of people don't go to raw, because they literally don't know what to buy.
Yeah, I mean, it boils down to 80-10-10 in most cases. 80% muscle meat, 10% organ, 10% bone, right?
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to figure that out based on your dog's weight. Figure out that percentage. Obviously, the most affordable thing would be chicken, but what if your dog has a fucking chicken allergy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then when are you going to go to the inflation of beef? Right? Even chicken's high right now. Like everything's high right now. And
Yeah, I am.
Well, let me ask you this: Would it be because a lot of people, when they ask that question, they just haven't done the homework yet, obviously, right? Because they wouldn't ask the question if they knew. So, would you recommend to say, hey, just go here to like this? I don't know, one of those prepackaged raw companies that sell you raw until you learn, but you want to go raw right now and you haven't learned yet. Go to one of these companies. You're going to pay a premium. But then that'll give you the time to actually.
And some of them, like, it's actually cheaper. Like some of those I'll see it for like $2, $2.50 a pound. And you got to buy 5-pound tubes or whatever. Right. That's a lot cheaper than fucking beef, which is fucking $5.99 a pound. I don't know, man. Like it's a really in-depth question. It's it's just because every dog is unique and every dog is different, and there's so many different ways to do it. I mean, you just go off the rule of thumb 80-10-10, and you got to figure out and price it yourself. Great organs, and then you got to figure out what type of organs to feed your dogs, because what's really available outside of beef liver. I mean, chicken liver is okay, but beef liver is superior. But then you feed too much beef liver, and you're gonna have some problems there too.
Neely Watson says, in previous episodes, you have talked about building reputation with your product and or breedings, which means more word of mouth or advertising when it comes to potential clients coming to see or use your products.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah. For sure. You should be 100%.
Yeah.
So you've got people, you'll learn. You've got people. I can make a post, and I can guarantee the same 25 people are going to like or comment or share.
It's definitely
those
word
posts.
of mouth.
Those supporters are way bigger.
My team meeting this week is based off the difference between customer satisfaction versus over-the-top consumer experience, right? So, for example, customer satisfaction is doing the bare minimum to get the customer not the bitch, right? satisfied.
Yeah.
But when somebody comes in and they place an order of vest, and then they get that call, and then they get that handwritten thank you note, then they get that follow, and then you build that personal relationship that most companies don't do. And then maybe we'll throw something else in that they didn't expect to come in, as part of part of their package and stuff like that. Like, that's a consumer experience, allowing them to be accessible to our team and our coaches. Like, again, that person right there is going to recommend another person to purchase your product or invest into your brand. And that's more important because people buy from people they trust, and people trust their friends. If Roger goes, damn, Stan, I tried this new, let's say this hair trimmer that to Manscaped, give you a nice clean Manscaped. I'm going to be like, what the fuck is it? Well, let me get
Forget
that.
about it.
Like, give me the link.
Exactly.
If Zach,
like, hey, what was that nut trimmer?
Talks about fucking, latex gloves.
Don't depretzel me on this episode, bro. Do not depretzel me on this episode.
But again, like, but seriously, if Zach or Roger recommended a product to me because I know them, I trust, I'm gonna look into it because I trust their their opinions.
That's my biggest tactic I use with the graphics. I don't put a logo on any of my work. Right. So when you see the work, you have to do one thing. You have to ask the person that posted it and say, hey, where did you get that? And 9 times out of 10, this person personally. So when they tell you, oh, I got it from Zach, bro, he's cold, he's nice, he's good turn, everything's like it's supposed to be, they're more likely to already want to do business with me when they come to my inbox because their friend told them that I'm certified. As opposed to you seeing my logo, now you coming to hit me, and we have to go through this 2-day conversation on if you trusted me or not.
Yeah, and that's another advantage of when we talked about that peer network situation, right? Because if you you get in a peer network with a bunch of people. Another advantage is you post a picture of your dog, right? Everybody in your network should automatically engage with your post.
Yes.
Like, whenever they have time. But, reality, if you got 50 people in your group, then you post a picture of your dog, you should get 50 likes at the very least. The people within your peer network should be jumping in and liking your shit, and you should be jumping on liking their stuff. You know what I mean? That's just part of being in that network. That's the advantage of being in that network.
Luther Cole says, when you co-own a female, how does the business side usually work? Do y'all go half and half on whatever stud you choose? Medical bills for the breeding? Always wanted to know how that actually works.
Okay. So generally how it works is, I don't know how every breeder does it, but this is how I do it. So if I co-own a female, it's your female, right? As far as any kind of medical expense or anything, taking her to the vet or whatever, that's all on you. With the first breeding, generally, I'll pick the stud, and then we'll split the litter down the middle. Second breeding, they pick the stud, we split the litter down the middle. Third breeding, it's all on them. They have the whole thing.
And I would say on top of that, make sure that there's full transparency in those contracts and that there's no gray areas, that you completely understand that, because I think. There's going to be a lot of deals that are done differently. But I think there's what's always the confusion is that people do such loose business based off, like, treat it like a business, like legit business. Treat it like a lot of you guys don't treat this like a business. You want it to be a business, and you're trying to build this brand, but most of y'all don't even have EIN numbers, man, or you don't have LLC.
Right. Somebody said that the other day. They were like, well, you can only buy that dog food if you have a business license. And I'm like, why the hell don't you have a business license? Like, if you're a breeder,
nothing
why
against
would
people
you
who
have
have Cash App, but if somebody, is telling me in my field of business, say, hey, Cash App me, I just know that they're not a serious business person. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing personal against. I know some people have to start somewhere, but man, like, you gotta, man. If you want to be respected as a legit business. I don't know any 7-figure or 8-figure, or even 7. People are even making $500,000 a year saying Cash at me. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So, if you want to be taken as a serious business entrepreneur, man.
I tell people every time that I do, I'm like, hey, I can invoice you from PayPal. And you have an actual physical invoice, or I have Cash App, but it's not really going to benefit you. Like, I'm going to be able to write it off. Like, it's going to be good on my end, but for you,
I'm gonna take
yeah.
payments.
You pay me, Apple pay me, motherfucker. But I'm gonna be.
And the reason it is because I'm trying to take care of my client. You know what I mean? And my client wants to pay me in a certain way. Well, I'm gonna go out of my way to make sure that I have that option.
In the big dog world, in the corporate world, like, you gotta have your ducks in a row. You gotta have the LLCs and the EINs and the DBAs.
But that also goes back to what Roger just says right there. That's, again, over the top consumer experience. You know, like having that availability. You know.
What was I telling you on the phone earlier about? So the restaurant shit, like, you got, like, anybody can cook a burger or a steak or whatever, right? It's when you walk into a restaurant, the one thing that really makes you come back is the experience you had while eating the food, not really the food, because you can go home, cook a steak, you can go across the street, get a steak. It's what that restaurant offers as an experience that makes you be like, that was badass. Like, I really enjoyed myself there. The setting was nice. I'm gonna go back. So it's about that experience. And that's
especially especially if you meet like a server who knows like what you want already. Like, you sit down, you're like, oh, let's just say you drink a Coke. Here's your Coke. Yeah, do you want? I know I'm gonna bring you a salad. Do you want Italian on it like normal? Cool. You know, I got you.
Or like,
you want
how
the
many
extra
times
Italian?
have you been there to a restaurant and they don't have nothing to write down, and you're like, are you sure?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, no, you good. Just tell me what you need. You're like,
nothing pisses me off when I go in there for that one specific thing, and they're out of it, and they're known for it. Like, you know, like your fucking wing spot, and you don't have wings right now. You know, like I'm never
like Popeyes.
Rough.
I don't know how many times I pull out of Popeyes and we're out of sandwiches. What the? That's what you do. You're supposed to have. What are you talking about?
Here's a good.
Let's see. They say AI, TCI, or surgical. Which do you guys prefer? What do you prefer?
Really depends on the circumstance. Yeah, depends on the situation. So if it's frozen semen, it's always going to be surgical. There's nothing you can do about it. When frozen semen is woke, as you bring it back, it's only alive for a very short period. So, surgical is. Now, as far as other than that, on fresh semen, I almost always do an AI.
Yeah.
And reason being is because I do it myself. I think we had one TCI done, and I don't even remember if it took, to be honest with you. But 99% of the time, if it's an in-house breeding,
let's go further into that. Now, if you're doing it fresh with an AI, how do y'all time? What's your system? Are y'all doing progesterones, or you just
As far as progesterone, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we'll go by the days and the progesterone. So generally, the first time I see blood drop, and you understand, I know, you got to know your female too. You know, you got to know your female because their behavior changes. There's certain things that will tip you that something ain't right. So, but generally, what I do, the first time I see blood, I'm going to wait 5 days. On that fifth day, I'm going to take her in, and I'm going to get a progesterone level done. And I'm kind of what I'm looking for is a 5. Right? Because that means she's ovulated. I mean, she's in ovulation. And at that point, generally 3 days later, you can breed her, but I'm also doing progesterone again. So I'm still looking for a progesterone level. I don't know. Me personally, I like to be right around like a 10 or 11, somewhere in that range for me to do an AI. But I know some people that do it earlier. Hell, I know some people that do surgicals at 8. You know, it's just all a preference thing. And then again, I'll follow it up. The second breeding, I never go by progesterone. I go by days. So let's say I test her and she's like an 11, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do the AI. And then 2 days later, I'm going to run it again. I don't care what her numbers are. They could be 22, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and run it 2 days later, run it again. And our hit to miss ratio is good. So I don't see the point of changing the system that works for us.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
So we got a first winner. They got 3 minutes to hit us up. It's 6945_Justin. We're not going to chase you down. We're not going to make no more announcements. If you're not tuned in, it's your own fault. Next question.
Royal Ray Kendall. Oh, hold up.
One other thing. If go out and find yourself a progesterone chart, right? They're all over the internet. So if you're doing breedings, go find yourself a progesterone chart. You'll find one for IDEX, and they're actually colored in when to do the breedings.
So where'd you learn all this? I mean, you're so young in the game. You see people who's been in the game for like 5-10 years, and how are you knowing all this stuff and they don't? Yeah, exactly. Network, relationship.
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt. Yeah. I mean, 100%. Because he was like, this is what you do. This is how, like when I share videos, like a couple days ago, I shared a video on how I use my extender and freeze it and all that shit. Like that was given to me. I'm just giving it to the community. But that information was given to me. So a lot of this information, like I make my own, like you kind of dial it in for you, but for sure, the whole community, what's up?
Did it?
I still got it here. Or maybe that's a different question. No, that's a different question.
There it is. It's back. I got it back.
Disappeared. But as far as that knowledge was passed down. So it would have took me twice as long. It would have took me twice as long.
When someone sells a champion or grand champion dog, and the next person that has the dog, who takes credit?
All right. Before that, we'll read that again. So the winner, True Beast Camo Collar. So you won that. Make sure you message @xdog. Send us your information so we can get that shipped out to you. You have until noon tomorrow.
Noon tomorrow.
And if you have any questions, put them in the question box, please. We get a lot of questions in the
box.
Ooh, hold on. What was it? Who were they? Where'd my pen go? Are you writing all that?
I got him down. I got it down.
I'm depressed about my pen.
He didn't know.
Don't worry about it. I got it. I got a new system.
Royal Ray Kennels. Royal Ray Kennels says when someone sells a grand champion dog and the next person that has it, who takes the dog's credit? Well, who takes the credit? Wait, hold on.
I'm assuming it wasn't a grand champion.
Someone sells a champion or grand champion dog, and the next person that has the dog, who takes credit? There we go.
Yeah. Now, I'm assuming when they bought the dog, it actually wasn't a grand champion already. Like they bought a puppy, the dog ended up getting grand champion. All right, the breeder always going to get credit for producing. There's a difference. So, the breeder will get the credit for producing the dog. You as the owner get the credit for the accomplishment, for grand championing the dog. So if you're doing your job right, no one's gonna know anything but you, right? Because you're the one that's always in their face. You're always the one at the show. So, they're gonna be coming to you anyway, regardless of who produced it.
What they win?
It's so the number 2 winner tonight is James Dot. I'm gonna tear his last name up. Duplochain, DUPLECHAIN. All right, I know he's in here. He asked a question. He's the one that asked about the Raw. So let's just see if he shows up in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, he should still be in here.
Oh, it was a grand champion. That's interesting. He commented and said it was a grand champion already. Well, then, they always take credit because they already did the work. You are the owner, so you say, I own this grand champion.
All right,
obviously.
James, let's see what you want, buddy. Yeah, that's an interesting question, to say the least.
Marketing-wise, let's see. I need my glasses, bro.
Like, why the hell would someone?
FG Border Collie says, marketing-wise, bang for the buck, what would you say should be a small beginning program's priority list, marketing material-wise?
Let's get to what he won first, and then we'll jump on that one.
Doom. And the winner is, for those of y'all that's tuned in afterwards, hearing this is live on Instagram, Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can come join us and get you some gifts too.
So James won a True Beast chicken topper. And Zach, tell them what you yelled at me and Roger about earlier in the messages, where else they can find us if they don't make it live.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I just did right then.
Pitched us out for 30 minutes.
I'm trying to get the team to step it up. They didn't know what I was talking about. They was both confused. They was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
What is the YouTube? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what you mean.
I was like,
"Tell
what
me
did
about
Stan
this
do
social
now?
media." Yeah. All right. So, marketing wise, bang for the buck. What would you say would be small beginning programs priority list for marketing materials?
Marketing materials. Okay, I would say get one of those QRC codes. That way, that's the best business card approach. I would say, right? Like that way you can just hand that out, or I mean, you can mail it, screenshot it, anything, and then people have access to all your social media channels. I mean, for bang for your buck to get your reach. But Zach, this is Zach's department outside of my department and outside of Roger's department. What would you say the most bang for your buck would be as far as value wise?
Social
cups, man.
Yeah, you can holler at me, get the cups. It's just social media, man. I mean, you get your business card for sure, but nowadays business cards are starting to become outdated. You can get the thing like Rogers got. They're coming out with different types of digital business card that has all your attributes in one spot: your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, your whatever you have as far as a social media account, and it's a touch scan basis thing to where you don't have to hand out cards. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you can look if you want to. You can go to Facebook because I put everything. I do everything public. But if you want to, you can go to my Facebook, Roger Stout. You'll see it's bullies. I posted a video not too long ago about how to program NFC chips, near field communication chips. So I have a wristband that I gave my wife. So literally, if she's at a show and someone walks up and says, "Hey, do you have a Facebook?" Boom, sticks their arm out. They put their phone on it. I went out and went to Linktree, which is where most of the girls set up their sneaky links. Yeah. But we use it for us. So we do our Facebook, our Instagram, our contact information, the lock-in page, like you name it. I've got a Linktree.
You say sneaky links?
Different links on it.
Yeah,
right? So, yeah, the sneaky links.
I didn't know if you meant that's what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But anyway, I've got we got that Linktree set up, and I've got it programmed to the NFC chip. So all they have to do is walk up to it, and there's a bunch of companies that do it already. Like you can find companies that do that. I just did it all myself. And you buy that. I can't remember one of the companies, but anyway, they'll set up a page for you, and then the person walks up to you. You don't even have to have a business card. You just walk up, they'll either tap your wrist or they'll give you one of those cards, and you just lay the card on the back of their phone. There's all your contact information, everything they could possibly need right there, right? It still requires you to be there. You have to be there. There's no replacement for getting your ass in the car and going to the shows.
So how do you pick a handler for your dogs at the shows? What do you look for? Also, is there a drop? Also, is there a drop date for the 3.5, the 3.5?
Yeah. You want to? I'll let you go first, Roger. Yeah, you go first, Roger. On the handler.
For the best. Okay. Pick a handler. I mean, mine came with the fam, right? So
I think that kind of
it's tough.
Kind of what we were talking about earlier. It's got to fit you. It's got to be somebody that you can actually fathom to be around. First of all.
Yeah. I mean, I was like infancy in bully game and met Hannah, and she already had an amazing reputation as a handler. Like, it was just no question. Like, she's my people. She's going to do it. But I would say if I was outside the circle and I had to try to find a handler, I would go to shows and I would see who's in the ring. I would just see the handlers that are in there. You can tell, trust me, you can tell the difference. Because the guy that's out there, he's got his backpack on and he's talking on his cell phone and he's got like a logging chain on his dog's neck. Okay, that's not a handler. Those handlers, you can see, they dress nice. They dress, some of them get a little wild, cowboy hats and shit. But, I mean, seriously, like, would they dress decent, and they just act professional? Those are people that handle dogs. Lots of times they have their own yard, so they're not going to handle a dog that's in their own dog's class. You know what I mean? But you can see these people, they're very professional, and if you have a dog that's outside of the class that their dog's in,
remember, they're presenting your product. And so you don't want somebody with their pants sagging, right? And fucking cigarette out their mouth, stacking your dog right there, even if they are smokers, no offense. It's just one of those things. They're presenting your product. So you want to look at somebody again, like professional dressed, timely, and who really enjoys. What I notice is that the relationship with your dog is very important, and having a relationship with the dog. So, as far as the V3.5s go, so all the inventory, it's at the end of the year, so manufacturing it's a little backed up, but the inventory is supposed to be done between the 15th and 20th. We're scheduling pickup this week. And we expedited the shipment. So we're expecting the 3.5s to be sometime early January if time frame is all as goes as hand. And from what I know from my last check, they'll be done between the 15th and the 20th, and then we expedited the shipping. So instead of 45 days of getting in, we should get them between 14 to 21 days.
Bow. Heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
And one thing I'll add to that handler thing is handlers, unlike breeders, in most cases are more approachable, right? Because that's their job, is to be approachable. They're not getting bombarded every day. Hey, I want to buy a puppy. You got any puppies available? Blah, 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 These people, they just handle dogs. And most of the time they're approached at a show or sometime shortly after a show on Facebook. But no, they're very receptive. Like I would imagine there's not a handler in the world who's going to give you the piss. I
mean, generally speaking, when you go to a show, just about anybody you come across is in good spirits, right? You're all there for the same thing. It's all about the dog. Just don't be weird, right? Just don't come up to people and do weird shit. Yeah.
And it's so hard not to be awkward.
Don't be doing no weird shit. Like,
you know what I mean?
But enjoy yourself. Yeah. Get out there. That's what it's about. That's how you're gonna meet the people that, like he said, you may not see the top breeder, but you might see their best handler there with his dog. So that's how you meet these people. It's the only way. And then from there,
you probably done.
It's on you again. Like you gotta make that choice to where is this somebody I like? Do I respect their moral choices? Are they a good person really? Like is social media a gimmick? Like it's on you after that. I can't give you no more advice past that.
Because you got to trust them with the dog, right? Don't the dog have to go with and live with them for a while? Like, they don't?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
you can meet them at the show.
People do it different ways, in the community. There's people that only meet you at the show. There's people that are boredom for you. There's all type. But again, all of these situations are by situation. Like the way Roger handles it may not be the way I handle it, or it may not be the way Stan handles it. It's per person. And that's what Stan always is trying to preach to y'all. It don't matter who you do business with, just make sure it's transparent enough to where you understand it's business at the end of the day.
Right. And I'll give you an example, which I've done this, I don't know how many times. This is just a testament to how good Hannah is. I will bring a dog to her and be like, hey, I want to show this dog. And she's like, okay, And she probably thinks I did some work with this dog at home, and I've literally done jack shit. Like, this dog is it walks on a lead, and that is it. And she'll take the dog into the ring. And, I mean, by the time that dog's getting inspected, she's already worked it out. You'll see her over there with the dog having its face up against the banner, like making it stay up against the banner. And she's, like, doing all this stuff while she's waiting to get in line to get for the inspection for the dog. Like, you literally will train the dog that fast. You learn that dog's personality and modify what she does to fit this dog's personality. So, a good handler is immensely more valuable than someone that just, does it on the weekends. They're worth whatever that price is. You want your dog represented.
Represented.
The pretzel. To its best of its ability, right? And the more experienced that handler is, the quicker and easier they'll do it.
You got a couple minutes. Let us know you're here.
Nelly Watts, whoever, however, whenever. How long they got, bro?
Couple minutes.
We need like a
couple minutes.
We shouldn't even, honestly, when it's nice where it's just us, we shouldn't even come up with a subject. We should just do 8 questions. because they send us way off.
Nope.
Like we're not even on the original network anymore.
Well, all right, cool.
Nellie Watts is here.
All right, next question. Yeah, that's great. I like that idea
Question
too.
nights.
Let's see. Back to the bottom of the list, bro.
Gets more people on the
Here's
wheel,
one
too.
for Stan. Again, at what age can you start giving puppies puppy naturals?
Early as weaning stage. The sooner the better. Yep. The sooner the better. I mean, when you're talking about cellular health and development, you definitely want to start, when you start weaning, and then you can have the nursing mom, the bitch on it as well.
So what's the because I put it in my puppy's mush, but I'm always afraid. I don't know how much to put in it. It's not on a label. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I give it. It's
hard to overdose on it. I mean, if you can, a lot of the vitamins are water soluble that are part of the puppy naturals, but it's colostrum, creatine, and DMG, and I mean, literally, you would have to give almost like the whole container, and your dog might have an issue with stool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it ain't gonna you wouldn't have to call the the drug administration or something.
So
since we're here, mine's been on it since mush stage, and now I give them, when I feed them, they get one full scoop, and they get the little puppy stack chewables with it too.
Okay. Yeah, I give them. I've been doing the powder in the mush, but I've just been real conservative.
Basically, you want to do a half scoop per 25 pounds of it, but I would say I would give. It's hard, again, because like I said, when you're talking about mush, you don't know how much the pups are eating each.
Yeah.
And so
eating.
I mean, it'd be, if you want to be more accurate, then you can wait until the pup reaches 15 pounds, and you start giving a third a scoop of that. And you could definitely still give like a half a vitamin or a full vitamin of the Puppy Naturals chews. We're going to start selling them separate just because some people go through the chews faster than one product versus the other, But it's important to give both just because there's nothing, man. I'm telling you right now, when it comes to creatine.
See, that's a question right now. Let's bounce on that. Levante says, what's the gig on giving a dog creatine?
Okay, so the National Animal Supplement Council recognizes only a few ingredients as proven muscle building ingredients, which means you can only make muscle building claims on the label if you have certain ingredients in it. One of those ingredients is the most studied ingredient when it comes to muscle building and performance, which is creatine. When you talk about creatine, and you look at your dogs, the non-domestic, predators like wolves, coyotes, foxes, who have a high raw diet, their creatine the blood in their creatine is about 10 times higher than a domestic dog, because creatine is not it falls under the low dosage drug, which means AFCO doesn't recognize it as an essential nutrient, but I'm going to tell you right now, it is an essential nutrient. The reason why they don't see it as an essential nutrient, because if you heat it up, it'll mess it up, right? Like you can't cook it. And when you're talking about kibble, it's highly cooked. But it falls under a supplement then. Anything that's considered low dosage drug, like glucosamine, which is a very, is a joint ingredient, it's going to fall under a low dosage drug. So a lot of joint supplements are considered supplements because they have certain nutrients in it that are not recognized by AFCO as an essential nutrient. But as far as creatine goes, a lot of people look at creatine as just for muscle building, but all the new studies, there are tons of studies done on like animals, like, lab rats and stuff, where basically like there's neurological support now that shows, and bone density support. So if you want to strengthen your dog's bones, creatine is a great product. I even talked to Sam. Sam uses creatine to help with his dog's stool mobility. And so I take 5,000 milligrams a day as I get, because I'm aging now, I'm 45, and I don't probably get as much creatine as I should, but it's such a regarded, studied, it's the most clinical studied muscle building nutrient. So you can start as early as, if you're afraid to do it in powder form, just start out with raw. Anything that's raw, like meat proteins, especially like venison, salmon, stuff like that, it's loaded with creatine in it.
Yeah, so I think people just get a bad misconception on the word creatine because they instantly they resort to thinking, oh, muscle builder, bodybuilder, it's steroid type shit, right? But what they don't realize
Yeah.
is creatine.
Yeah,
We produce
exactly.
creatine in our body to begin with. All you're doing is just helping when your levels get low. Or there's a lot of beneficial, like you said. There's a lot of benefits for your brain. There's a lot of benefits for your digestive. Even with humans.
And even in joints, because
Yeah.
like you condition those stabilizer muscles, and then better conditioned stabilizer muscles are going to reduce pressure on joints, ligaments, and tendons. And so
Yeah.
you're now seeing creatine in a lot of joint supplements. And so it's
Now the reason they would use it, initially, I would think, was like they want to see an improvement in their dog's tone.
see, that's okay. So this is how creatine
know.
works, right? So when people give their dog creatine, they're automatically going to see mass. For the longest time, people say, well, if you don't give your dog enough water, you're going to dehydrate your dog, which is complete BS, because how creatine works, it actually floods the muscles with water.
Yeah.
So your dog retains water. So your dog, but just by giving your dog creatine, he's probably going to gain, just depending on the weight of the dog, 1 to 2% of its body weight. So for example, I've seen dogs gain 5 pounds off of just retaining more water, right?
Yeah.
And so how
Right.
it works is that a lot of people get the misconception that you just give it to your dog and you don't have to do nothing, you're not going to have to put the work. But when it comes to muscle building nutrients like creatine, it's designed to increase your dog's workload, reduce the lactic acid buildup so they can work out for longer periods of time and then recover more efficiently. So you still have to do the work, right? And a lot of companies don't. Yeah,
It's
muscle
more of an
performance. It's going to give your
thing.
dog's
Yeah.
muscles the leverage to push more weight into, apply more weight. So, and then not get tired as fast. But again, you still have to do the work. Yeah. So.
Nice. Yeah, I think that clarification was probably good, because I don't know how many people think like, well, I'll just 30 days before the show, I'm full of creatine,
Most of our products, there might be 200 milligrams, where when you're talking about 200 milligrams, I take 5,000 milligrams a day. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot, and some men take 10,000 milligrams. So it's not like a crazy amount, but it doesn't take a crazy amount. Especially with dogs on raw diets, your dog is, if you tested your dog's blood and he's eating raw compared to a dog that's eating kibble, his creatine levels are going to be so much higher in his blood.
Yeah. All right. Want to run through one more? We
got a couple more, man.
Any more questions?
Let's go.
Yeah,
we got 2 more giveaways.
All right.
We got time.
Well, I've been
the
drinking
last
water
one, Nelly
all day,
Watts.
so.
I didn't make that announcement. Nelly Watts, you won a Muscle Bully Gains 45.
Muscle Gains 45.
Make sure
don't message Muscle
message
Bully,
X
because they're going to tell you.
Don't message.
Or actually, just go to Rogue and hit up. And ask,
just
how many times, how often we
like,
get, man, where somebody's like, we'll post somebody's dog, like, hey, you got any pups off that? It'll be off like 0 or some fucking, blue or somebody.
Yep.
Here's our question right here. While I gotta go take a piss. What's the best thing that could be given to a pregnant female?
High calories, man. I always recommend high calories and making sure that she's getting enough calories and making sure that it's complete and balanced as much as possible. Yeah,
giving them a supplement. I use that satin ball a lot, believe it or not.
It's great.
Even with pregnant females, like during their pregnancy, even after their pregnancy, like literally I can show you.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture of Precious. She doesn't look like she had.
What else were you giving her though?
Like coat didn't blow out. Just that. Well, we're doing kibble. And then we were doing some raw on top. So we were giving her some chicken. And then we were doing satin ball. And then just, I can't remember, there was a supplement. But there was a supplement we're throwing in there too. And that was all before the pregnancy. And then during the after support, again, we're giving her more protein. We're giving her satin ball. And literally, like, at 4 weeks, the puppies are off of her completely. Like, and I'm 3 days after the puppies are off of her. She's running around. Yeah. Like, other than a little boob saggage right now, because she hasn't tucked up yet. But I mean, she never missed a beat. Like, she's still running top dog.
That's
she
crazy.
don't look like
That's
she's got a problem in the world. So I've been super impressed with that. We'll definitely be repeating.
Yeah, the bounce back is important, man. That's good. Was that the quickest piss ever?
Because if you don't, it takes them so
It
long.
felt like forever on my end. Shit. Like, I'm away from the show. I got to get back.
Maybe we're just so deep in the question that everyone knows you're gone.
Yeah. That was the pretzel piss. You know, he was
Fucking
like,
water
shit,
I be drinking every day.
Yeah, so if everybody don't know, Zach's on 75 hard, so he drinks a gallon of water a day, and I know about those, man.
Just constantly.
Here's a good question.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one.
I'll let Roger handle this one.
Have you given pups prebiotics?
Solidified Midwest Bully says, when vaccinating and deworming pups, do you have or have you given pups prebiotics or probiotics?
I have not. We deworm, and other than that, they get mushed when they're ready and on their own mom. So, but I feel like a healthy mom really prevents you having to do a lot, right? A lot of those nutrients and all the stuff that's super important to these puppies, they get through mom. So when mom's real
and when you
healthy,
think about pups, man, like, again, we like when they're on mom and they're getting the milk from the mom. Remember the first 4 days they're getting colostrum, so that colostrum within the first 4 days is going to help with leaky gut. And when it comes to like pre and probiotics, you really need to have really good gut health if you're feeding a lot of processed food. When you think about a pup, man, a pup is on as organic as food as possible. You know. Yeah, so the being able to digest that isn't going to be as hard on the digestive system as if you were to feed them just, kibble and water, mush or anything like that. So,
right.
And then you got to keep in mind if, he's also, when you're feeding satin ball, you're giving bone broth, MCT oil. So all that stuff also helps with leaky gut. Collagen proteins in there. So collagen is really good for leaky gut as well. And so protecting the inside of the walls, like he's doing other things that are helping out with that. And
for the viewers, we can't read that either.
Okay.
And I got one eye. Read that text.
I got one.
Everyone's trying to read who that is.
Winnie hunts for honey. Winnie hunts for honey.
What the shit? That's a dope name, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I'm thinking Winnie the Pooh.
They just got they got a question up here too.
Here?
Let's see. Winnie Hunts for Honey says, do you have any tips for starting a kennel on how to get good connections? Oh,
I think we kind of.
Yeah, you might want to just run this whole episode back when we get done.
Back.
Is Winnie here?
Are you here?
There's really, really, Well, let's see. I haven't seen him. But for sure.
We got a couple more minutes.
What are your thoughts? If you'd have put that question in the question box, I would have answered.
Next question. How many more questions we got?
There's a lot, bro.
Cool. Run them.
Yeah.
If you have a question, put them in the question box, guys.
F and X. Put that in the question box. Stan won't let me answer any questions.
I got them marked down so I can put them in here. So I always like them.
Treasure Coast Bully says, is it safe to give the plasma from the mother when pulled in a progesterone to puppies when they're born?
This would be. Do you know this one? Do you know anything about this, Roger?
I have puppies that are like having issues.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen this. I've definitely heard of this, like spinning down the mom's blood and pulling the plasma out and giving it to the puppy. That's one of the big issues with a weak puppy is that, those puppies are born. They only have so many resources. They only have so much resources. And if mom's not making proper amount of milk or something like that, you're on a time clock. You better get on it. So I have read some about doing the plasma. I've not had to do this yet. So
person asks, Roger, do you also eat the placenta since you're helping wean the pups with Precious?
What?
No, I don't receive that part.
Well, no,
we leave that.
Because my girl, man, she had to eat. She
gonna have to get a filter button.
How about threw up?
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna take take the mom
Now, what I was
back
gonna
and the
say is
puppies.
we
You
might
can
have
keep
to
all
bring
that
Royal
other
Ray
shit.
Kennels
no.
on because that's what they
So-
do for a living. They're professional, like they have a professional whelping service.
Okay,
So,
that'd be great too. And then
That would
also
be
bring this
awesome.
question on Thursday with Dr. O. He might be able to give you some insight on that. He's a
yeah, I mean, Royal Ray said yes. We love plasma. He said it's very good to keep for each litter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. Well, I'm gonna reach out to him. I know him. I get him. We'll get him on here because that's what they do. Him and his wife, they whelp. So
Yeah.
cool. Is Winnie Hunts for Winnie Hunts for honey in here? Is she not? They not.
we need a boo.
She done messed me up. I'm like, I'm about to go learn about this
Yeah.
plasma shit. I couldn't answer a question.
That's
Got
what
me
we're here
messed
for.
up.
Learn.
I try to know shit everything. I try to bring value. I couldn't answer the question.
I'm gonna
I
remind
just
you
haven't had
every
to
single
deal with
day
that.
that you were able to answer that question.
That's right. That's right. You failed. Trust me, I'm beating myself up. My wife's
Stan, they
watching
said,
right now, so she's going to be
when's
like,
the fit
I can't
collar
believe you
coming
couldn't
out?
answer that question.
I'm actually gonna do a pre-launch this week. In fact,
There
check
you
this
go.
out. Yeah.
More importantly,
soon as,
when's mine coming?
soon. I just got these in, so we figured out the packaging. Yeah, just give me some
Oh,
neck
that's mine?
measurements. I'll
Right
send you
there?
some. And so,
Dominique Spotwood says at-home remedies for yeast infections for
Cool.
dogs.
yeah.
No corn, no
Nice.
wheat, no soy.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeasty
just to go back
beasties.
on the fit collar, just to give you guys some ideas, we're launching 500 units on the first round, right? I'm ordering a bunch, we're only going to do 500 in the first round. You're going to get exclusive pricing on those, and you're going to join the Fit Collar 500 Club. Now, what that means is that you're going to have locked in exclusive prices on every initial launch. So, for example, if our extra large is $70, but you're going to get, let's say, 30 or 40% off that, you're always going to get 30 or 40% off that, and you're going to be the first one to get it. So you'll get exclusive price points on it, and then we're going to be doing all types of cool giveaways as well.
Very true. Y'all heard it here.
And so if you have not signed up, go to fitcollar.com. Now, Fit Collar, this is X-Dog, but Fit Collar is its own product brand. And the reason why it's its own product brand, because I'm in business and I've failed multiple times where I could have just, every new product that I launched within this company or within this brand could have been an investment that was written off on building it, because it's an extension of scaling up. And I learned the hard way by launching about 20 products and not doing that. And then I got a mentor and the coach says, why aren't you doing that shit?
Yeah.
Every individual product should be an entity. And I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. It's just like if you look at a cereal brand, right? Like, Kellogg's, what's the big Mars? Yeah, Mars. They have different brands of cereal. Every individual brand of cereal is its own entity, I'm sure, because they're scaling it, they're scaling up. I missed the boat on the dog food big time on that, and the toppers and all the different individual supplements. So, but I learned about it, and now that ain't going to happen again.
That's right. So what is your suggestion about the yeast infection situation? What naturally can they
get
use?
some good pre and probiotics. Find out what's giving your dog yeast first and foremost. That all starts in the gut, right? Like if the yeast infection is an infection that derives from the gut somewhere, so it's probably from what you're feeding. So you got to figure out what you're feeding, and then you could do a hard reset. And a hard reset is basically just you fast your dog, you get them on a good pre and probiotic, and then slowly introduce one ingredient at a time, and do a hard reset that way.
No corn, no wheat.
Me?
Do you fast your dog?
Well, I switch from one day a week. I switch from morning to evening, right? And then vice versa, a different day every week. So this week, I actually did it tonight. I just got back, so I'm doing it tonight. So they usually feed in the evening. So I'm skipping this evening meal and feeding in the morning. So that's it's going to be a long fast. So 2 days is a long fast, and then 2 days is a short fast, because I'll go back from morning to evening. But I feed 5 to 6% of my dog's body weight one time a day. Where on raw feeding, it's usually 2 to 3%. If you go the normal 2 to 3%, you don't have to really fast if you're feeding raw.
Okay. What
I
about
think
kibble?
you
What do
should,
think
just
of people
because
eating
it's
kibble
a
today?
slower digesting. If you don't
Yeah.
add water, it's definitely like add some type of liquid like water or bone broth or something to moisten it, because it is slower absorbing. It just is because it has to sustain shelf life. So you have to give your dog system a break. I would recommend
Yeah, so
at
Start
least
with the diet.
once or twice a month. You don't have to do it 4 days a week. I do that just because I try to do a lot of obedience training, and the dogs like to work when they're
Yeah.
hungry.
Yeah.
So they go.
yeah. Well, I mean, it
Yeah,
helps with dogs that don't want
if
to
a
eat
dog,
food.
people say the dog's
Reality.
finicky or picky, it's not that. It's that they're not burning enough calories, or they have too
Yeah.
much of a certain nutrient. They're like, fuck, I don't need any more protein, or I don't need any more,
Yeah.
fats. Like I've got enough and I'm not even
Right.
utilizing them. So unless you want me to shit everywhere,
Yeah.
like I don't need any more. People are like 9 times out of 10 when I ask somebody like, how many times are you feeding? Man, I'm feeding 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
It's we
but
see
that's
it
what the
a
bag
lot.
tells.
You see it a lot. You see it a lot in the bully community because it's something that a lot of people will tell you. Oh, feed it, you get it big. Big dog feed it a lot. Blah, blah. It's just a misconception. But then you run in. Yeah. Then you
Well, you just
run
look at how
into
much your dog
the
shits.
situation like
I mean, that's all there
now.
is to
Like
it.
you might have a good dog food, but you feed it so much, you don't let it fast, and it gets zero exercise. So now all the carbs that's in that food that you're feeding your dog is turning into what? It's turning into sugar. And then when it turns into sugar, your dog's body, everything's going to fluctuate. Then once it can't break down a certain amount of that sugar,
Well,
it
that
then's
insulin
going to turn
spikes.
it. Yeah, insulin spikes. But then once it can't break it down, it's going to convert it into what? Yeast. And then it's got to come out of the body somehow. The ears, the paws, the mouth. A lot of times you can tell when you look at people's dogs, they'll be real pink in the face, around the nose, like their ears, and they don't even realize it. They don't
Stains
even see
between
the
their
sign.
toes,
Yeah,
heavily in a lot of cases.
Yeah, you don't even see the signs of it. So stay away from, like we said, corn, wheat, and soy. Big no. And then like super high carbs, like potatoes, is like probably not a good thing to feed your dog if he's not getting exercise.
And if you have questions, ask them in the questions box. This whole episode, if you did not have a chance and you're just tuning in, you can rewatch this episode on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and we talked about the co-ownership when it comes to studs. And actually, Roger got really in depth on it.
Yeah.
So if you miss it,
Well, we could have
said.
got way deeper. But yeah, if you're normally listening to us on Spotify or iTunes and you want to participate, then just hit us up on Instagram at Muscle Bully on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central, and you can get in the chat and you can actually ask your own questions.
Oh yeah,
I'm
big
sure
shout
people
out,
are
man!
listening.
6,000
we get a
downloads
ton of
today. We got
downloads.
notified, so we know they're listening. We know it's growing. We
And
appreciate y'all.
Dr. O is going to be a once
So
a month thing. So he's going to be our
Nice.
what do you call it? In-house veterinarian, residence. He's
Yeah,
gonna be
there
a
you
resident
go.
veterinarian, animal chiropractic. Yeah, that guy helped me out a
Yeah.
lot, man, because we're now the X-Dog vest is going to be recommended by orthopedics, which I was getting, people are fucking battling me on that. Is it orthopedic approved? Well, it is now because he hooked me up with a network of over 500 licensed veterinarians, animal chiropractors, and orthopedics who are taking the vest and utilizing it in their programs, online programs, where they can send certain exercises utilizing the vest to address any issues that their clients are having. So it's a crazy network, man, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. And then we're probably going to dedicate at least one day to answering questions. I know a lot of people have questions about products and stuff too. So I don't know how often Roger's going to be here on the Mondays.
Yeah.
If we can get him here on other days once he gets more time on his hands. I mean, he's got 23 bitches to take care of, and then he also
ain't easy.
Yeah, pimping ain't easy. So
I got like 9 more. Yeah, with litters.
Good luck, my boy. Yeah, that's it, man.
And I'm different. I'm not like, hey, come get these puppies. I'm like, hey,
building
I'm not getting
dynasty
rid of
and then
them.
he's just going to send the rest overseas and piss Zach off.
What the fuck? I was just like, why is he gonna do that? He's fucking doing some badass shit, and he's just gonna fucking give it away to the people over there? No.
Yeah.
We need it here.
And not even just anywhere here. It's the princes over in Pakistan.
Shit, that's
So
major.
you have no access to them.
Major shit.
None access.
That's right. No, it's that's a maneuver, and you learn. Oh, trust me, it wasn't.
Man, we appreciate everybody that tunes in. Like we said,
we got some more questions. I know we do, man.
Man, we got a bunch.
Yeah, roll.
Saying.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We should just say it's 2 hours. The show's 2 hours. You got nothing else to do.
All right, let's do 3 more questions.
Let's see here. Rescue ships. Right. What's usually the biggest downfall for a kennel?
Doing bad business.
Yep.
Not being a person of your word. Bad business, man. Like, do the right thing is always the right thing is one of our core values here at X-Dog, which means like, so this is, obviously stud fees and stuff like that are higher priced than vets and certain stuff. But there's been times, man, like I'll refund people $200-$300 on their order, even though I wasn't in the wrong, you know what I mean? Just to stay in a relationship, just to do the right thing. Amazon kills us all the time, man. Like we learned the system now, so they forced our hand to utilize their shipping method, so they'll cover the A to Z claims, because people would be like, hey, we didn't get our order, and it'd be like, it shows delivered and it shows that you signed for it, and then Amazon's like, well, we ain't got time, we're just going to refund the order. Or you can spend a $3 to $4, $5 more and use our service of shipping, and then we'll take care of your take care of all these claims. But it's just a lot of people won't do right by the customer because you feel like it's more important to keep somebody's fucking stud fee, or whatever, man. I mean, there's been a bad situation just recently. I'm not going to say any names, where there's a stud that's in pretty high demand, right? He's a stud that's in high demand, and the co-ownership went sour.
Yeah.
Over he say, she say, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, I think what was the original
biggest
question?
Downfall for a kennel? Yeah.
Well, fall. That's right. Okay. And I think that is another part.
Yeah.
I think is patience. Like, your shit's not going to happen overnight. Probably not going to happen in 5 years. So be prepared to put in the time.
Yeah, no, aggressive patience. That's in business in general. Like, because we're in a situation where social media makes everything so fast, and everything. Like, technology is so fast now.
Right.
It's like you order online, you get it in like 2 days, or a day, or same day.
Yeah.
Communication, being able to send over contracts. Like, I had somebody, I forget who it was. We're like, we're gonna fax you over it was like the Texas State chemist. It was literally like Texas A&M, like the AFCO, and they're like, we're gonna fax you. I'm like, fax?
Right.
Like, I had to figure out.
I don't even have one.
I don't even have a fax number.
Yeah, come on. What? Email? DocuSign? Something.
But that, and just don't be. I don't know how do you word that. Like, when you hit I'm sure you do the same thing. You'll hit a goal, right? You'll do something, and it may be notable to everyone else. They'll be like, oh, that's amazing. You know what I mean? But for you, it was just another step.
Yeah, or
towards
it's like,
bigger goal.
oh, that was
You know what I mean? So don't get satisfied because you did that thing.
If you're not growing, you're dying,
keep
right,
pushing.
Zach?
That's right.
That's right.
Learn business.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these guys fail because they don't understand the business side of it. And then here's the thing. You can only get away with this amount of much money that you're selling these fucking dogs for under the radar for so long before this shit's coming back to bite you in your ass. And you see it all the time. And you see these people say, oh, I got audited. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. You got to have your business in order at the end of the day. Selling dogs is cool. We all love it. But the people that you see that's at the top, they don't have to worry about the bullshit because they got their ducks in a row. Yeah.
This was a good question right here.
It's kind of boils on to what we just the question. If you buy,
I'm still
the one that you failed at, did not have the answer for.
Yeah, he's mad. He's going on
plasma
research.
Roger's gonna get the pretzeled over this plasma.
He's gonna go buy a plasma machine tomorrow. No, it says that you buy a show quality pup, but it grows up into a pet quality pup. Should you get a refund?
Number one, let me ask you this. Number one, did you purchase the dog under the whatever text that it
Guaranteed
was
100%.
going to be show
Yeah.
quality? Yes.
In contract.
If that was the case, then you should
Yeah.
get another dog.
But what determines show quality? I mean, right now,
Absolutely.
if you ask Zach, man, like there's some dogs that are winning that shouldn't be winning. Saddlebacks, high rears.
I'm not a
Right.
judge, though.
Well,
I'm
that's
just
all-
voicing my opinion.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so how would you determine though? How would you determine if
that's-
it's show quality based on current judging?
Right. Is it grand champion quality or is it just champion quality? Like what's show quality to you? So that would be the harder part. But I don't know. I wouldn't sell a dog under that pretext. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say this is going to be a champion dog. No.
Yeah.
If I thought it was going to be a champion dog,
Yeah.
it's not leaving me.
Well,
anyway.
See,
Like completely.
And,
Like,
but I think there's a lot of
code
things
with
that
somebody,
happen, like where
but-
pups look like so badass, you know, and then they grow up, get a little older, and they get this undershot
will.
all of a sudden,
Right.
you know, they're bad bites and shit.
Well, here's an idea. Stop buying pups that are 8 weeks old.
Yeah.
Period. Because you know what? I've seen some dogs that look amazing at 8 weeks and go straight to hell. And then I've seen dogs that look good at 8 weeks, and at 12 weeks they look like trash.
Yeah.
And then they get turned a year and they're amazing. So
Well,
you buy a pup
Rocco-
at 8 weeks, you're rolling the dice. Because
Rocco's
most
a perfect
dogs
example,
look pretty
right?
good
Like,
at 8 weeks.
kind of had to buy him back.
I think that happened a couple times, he said.
Yeah.
Right?
I think he was sold, bought back, sold, and brought back again.
Yeah, if you're looking for a show quality dog, it ain't gonna be at 8 weeks. Like you should be more picky about that. You should be trying to look for dogs that are older so you can see where their structure is developing. I imagine most breeders sell as everything
Yeah.
is pet quality. Like there's no assumption of show quality.
That was a lot of the questions in here. Like everybody's like, what determines you a good or bad breeder? What makes a good kennel? What's a good breeder? Who's like the product? And for one, like we said, you got to have a product that determines that you're on a top tier.
I
right?
would say tier 2, before you start a kennel, you know, create your core values. What are your core values? And,
Yeah.
you know, have 5,
Right.
you know, 5 to 7 core values that you're always going to stick by and you're always going to do right by. You know, I didn't know anything about core values until about 5 years ago, right? And I started learning about core values, and it helped me in business, but also helped me in my personal life and my family life, you know, and establish that first. You know, you write that down and get to really know those and understand them and actually truly live by them, and you'll be fine.
Right. If your goal is to help people,
Yeah.
you're going to do fine. You're going to be fine. If your goal is to line your pocket, it's different. At the end of the day, that's all. Really, my goal is to just help people get a dog that they want. Like, and if their goal is the show dog, then I'll be like, yeah, you're going to have to be patient because I want to make sure this dog is of that quality before I give it to you. And if for some reason that dog doesn't turn out to be what it was supposed to be, and we've come into some
When
kind
did
of
you
agreement,
guys buy
then
Precious?
You're going to get another dog because,
How old was she?
oh God,
Yeah.
she was older.
Yeah.
She wasn't
Exactly,
She
right?
wasn't no puppy.
Yeah.
Like, she was a young dog. Yeah, she was. I would have Dina. Are you still in here?
I just remember the story that, you know, Dean's like, we got to have that dog. You know, that was her dog. Like, she's like, no matter what, we're going to get this dog, right? But it wasn't a fucking 8-week-old dog.
Yeah.
No.
No, she wasn't no puppy. Like, you could see already.
Yeah.
Like, she was developed enough that you could tell what she was going to be. Now, obviously, she could have went into like some weird stage, but no, I mean, I don't think you should ever purchase a dog for the purpose of it being a show dog at 8 weeks. For me personally, I don't think that's a good
and a
idea
lot of
at
people
all.
in the game too, man. Like, a lot of people aren't looking for show dogs too, you know. I mean, on that.
Yeah, if you're just looking for a dog for your
Red
couch,
flag.
I mean,
Red flag
Yeah,
number
buy it at
one.
8 weeks,
A
who
good
cares?
breeder is not going to sell
if-
you a show quality dog at 8 weeks old.
Yeah, there you go. There's a golden nugget for the night too.
I wouldn't think so. How could they even?
Yeah.
I don't even know how they get. There's very few, I believe.
But
that
you
can
see it all the
survive
time.
that at 8 weeks.
It's a pitch sale. It's it's
Because
all
their dogs are so
people
consistent.
just say
you know what I
shit
mean?
to draw it in. Like I see people all the time that have standard sized dogs and they're telling people that, oh, go pocket bullies We're gonna have pots of puppies.
Pocket.
You don't fucking know what that dog's gonna be until he's 12 months old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. There's
yeah,
so much homework to do. I mean, there are people you could have two standards.
Yeah.
You can have a standard male and a standard female, and you can breed them and get pockets from it.
Yeah.
And you got to understand that that's a
red flag
possibility.
number 2. A good breeder won't tell you they have a certain. Well, there's certain situations. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't guarantee phenotype.
You can't trust somebody that's out here
Can't.
telling you that a 4-week-old puppy is a pocket or a standard or XL, right? But XL's different because they probably got 2 XLs and they're gonna be big as fuck. But your pockets and your standards,
Right.
like if somebody's trying to preach to you that they got pockets for sale and they're young, bad sign off the rip. Red flag. Not a good breeder.
Yeah.
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 I just don't see how you could. You know what I mean?
All right, let's do one more question. One more question.
More.
I'm different.
I still got I have my outdoor workout to do.
Yeah.
It's
I might
fucking
get-
raining.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
might
That's
get
why I'm
some
like,
hate mail
shit,
on
I'm
that
still
one. I
gonna
don't
go
know. We'll
outside
see.
and work the fuck out. What determines you as a great breeder? What is the key to building? Bro, it's like everything is. How do we be good at what we do? Is basically what everybody wanted to know tonight. Any tips on feeding? Yeah,
Love the
there
people.
you go. Any
Take care of
tips
your
on
people.
feeding? We kind of ran through all that. What is a good raw recipe? We ran through that. How important was support been for building your company? There we go. That was kind of on topic. How important has support been for building your company?
I mean, it's pivotal. It's like it's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so important. Like you can't put a value on like if you could be more specific, as far as like support when it comes to building. Like my biggest support was my mentors, man.
Yeah.
Giving me the hard truths, letting me know that I had to put in the work and shit ain't gonna be given to you. You got to make massive sacrifice. That support, it's the false people, man. Like that. There was so many people when we first initially launched X.X. I literally thought these people were genuinely my friends, and they were just online people and just people that were part of. They had hidden agendas, and as soon as like one person had turned to find something bad or something or what they thought was bad, they try to cancel you, and then you realize, oh shit, none of these people were my real friends. But those are all test days, and so during those test days you get to my perspective on those during those times were, damn man, like that really sucked. But then I got mentors, and they're like, no dude, that was they did you all a favor, because now you cleaned out the people who aren't supposed to be with you on this journey, and now you get to really see who's with you, and then you start going from there, and then employees to everything, man, like
family members, friends.
It's just
I think people it's like when we start a brand or you start a business, like you instantly feel like the people that you see in your circle every day are just gonna be right on the same page with you, right? So you got to kind of take that time to build it up on your own, to where they have something to actually want to support. Like you're asking for some support from, in what their eyes at the moment is a fucking dream. Like it's like
I can already see it right now with Roger's program, man. Like it's the same fucking thing. Like first they want to see you win, and then you start really winning. Then they want to see you lose, and then they try to bring you down. Then he's gonna get through it. I mean, like you look at people like Sam and Hannah and James. They're like some of the most nicest people in the world. Like I don't even know how you could have a fucking bone to try to hate on them. And then you see it, and you're like,
exactly.
What the fuck, bro? Like, and so you're not gonna have to do anything. That's just part of everybody's success journeys, because at first they don't believe that you can do it, and then you fucking do it, and then they're like, oh man, like like how I don't like, you're gonna fall like, I believe that you can do it, and then like, oh shit, I can't believe you did it. And then they're like, oh, I always believed you could do it, man. I knew you could do it. No, you didn't. You didn't knew I could do it. You never knew you actually didn't believe I was going to be able to do it, And so.
Right. Well, in the reality, what helps is, when people come after you, they're like, well, you didn't do this, you ain't done this, whatever. Number one, don't believe in your mind that you've accomplished anything. Like, I'll think I've done something maybe when I produce a national grand champion, maybe. But Up to that, you can come to me and be like,
Yeah.
you ain't done this. And I'll be like, you're right. I ain't done shit. I ain't done nothing yet. But the difference is I'm not stopping. It don't matter. And every level I hit, that new level just means that now I ain't done nothing. I've already done that. I got to do something else. Keep pushing.
That relationship,
you know what I mean?
again, this is great to end on because the relationships is what got me through a lot of that stuff because I was like, I thought I was alone. And they're like, oh, no, you get in these networks of people who are successful entrepreneurs and business owners and brand builders. And they're like, oh, no, you're not alone. That's part of the process, man.
Yeah.
And that's what, because the thing is, man, you're going to get people that lie on you, like blatant lies. You know how many people said that we were an MLM?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that we stole money from them and shit like that. And that's why it boils back down to what, like you guys have been saying this whole podcast is like, have integrity, do good by people, generally care and serve. And the truth will always always outshadow and outwork the haters because most people are haters and trying to break you down or cancel you out anyways. They're just lazy. They're lazy anyways. They're not willing to do the work.
Yeah. They're going to sneak dish you. They're going to do all kind of shit. And you just stay focused. But even though your mentor, the support of your mentor is very important.
Yeah.
If you can find a mentor, if you're that lucky, right? If you're that lucky to find a mentor and the support of them is super important. But now it's your responsibility because your clients, you in a way, regardless if you think you are or not, you are their mentors, right? You are handing them information. Every transaction, you're giving them information. So it's your responsibility to take care of your clients in the same way that your mentor took care of you every step of the way. If they buy a puppy from you, the door should always be open to have a conversation about what's going on. Stud fee, same thing. Have the door open. PG levels. Talk to them. Whatever.
And if
it's
you don't
your
have
responsibility to pay it forward. If someone took the time to help
and if you grow so big till you don't have time to do that, then create videos. Well, or create videos or profile the common questions that you can send them directly and get one of those damn wristbands that Rogers talks about, man. And put it all on there and be like, here, man, here's an entire library of all these questions that if you just study this shit and apply it, you're good to go.
Yeah, I'm working on something for my clients and my cones. And I'm just not going to say anything because I don't know anybody else is doing it.
Yeah,
and
don't say nothing else.
Say something, then they're all going to fucking
better stop now.
Yeah.
So I ain't saying shit. But find a way. It doesn't matter how busy you get. You got to find a way to support your clients because someone helped you along the way when you didn't know shit.
Yeah.
Someone stepped up and helped you. So
and when you're
it's your responsibility
wise man once
to help
said,
someone
what
else.
you learn is not worth a fuck if you can't teach nobody else what you learned.
Yeah. And, when it comes to social media, entertain, educate, inspire, and, education. I mean, if you can give value and educate, you're always going to have an audience and you're always going to have an audience.
Unless you're entertaining with drama.
Yeah.
Then, no. Even though it is entertainment, I will give you that. Pretty
funny. It will always sell.
Well, man.
It can always sell.
Well,
it's good for a laugh.
Thursday, you going to be here, Rod? Yeah. So Thursday, we got a bonus. Bonus episode this week,
time.
7:00. Dr. O, owner of Animal Chiropractic School, ACEs, all creatures, every spine. He's a holistic veterinarian, licensed veterinarian. He has a network of veterinarians, like a countless amount. He's highly respected. We're bringing him on. If you have questions, I'm bringing him on just so I can ask questions as well. Roger's going to ask questions.
Yeah, I got all kind of
maybe
shit
Zach
for
will
him,
ask him how to pull some giraffes. And
I was going to ask him how bad Roger's going to have carpal tunnel by the time he's 60 for thanking them dogs over
there.
Is
there a way to stop?
Is
there a way to help Roger by the time he's 60 with all his program?
Every once in a while, I'll see an ad on the internet with some shit that moves some shit. I'm like, I wonder if I could do that.
There's not enough good quality breeders who's in business like that to make that whole risk protector thing. I mean, you're 1%er, man. You're a 1%er.
It needs to cross over. You need to find something to work at like porn and dogs.
Means
like see if it'll adapt. There's a lot of guys jerking off.
Me and Steven missed out on the boat for about a decade. We were talking about crooked dick condoms, and now they got a pill to fix it, and we missed it. We missed it, man. The whole market.
Man,
Crashed.
But man, and
Sucks.
before we get too deep into this shit, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, also, if you know of anybody that you think would be of value to come onto the show that you feel that we don't know or maybe we have access to, message us on Muscle Bully. Let us know, man. Like you believe that this individual's an up and comer. I know that me and Zach had talked about it earlier today, where we thought it'd be some value to bring on some newbies and up and comers, man, who are to have questions and stuff like that. And
that would be awesome. I tried to get one. I tried to get my co-owner to come on, and he said his hair wasn't good. I'm like, what?
J Jack.
I'm like, what? You know?
Yeah. Just message us. Message us. Zach. Zach is he's overseeing the Muscle Bully account.
Who?
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, Zach? Don't you?
I
have
an idea. I don't know if they. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
QK.
Yeah. That makes sense. Fucking.
It's like I mean, my hair.
I
like,
don't think he's cut his hair since last season.
What are you talking about? Yeah. I told him, I said,
he needs to come on, bro. He's very
entrepreneur
type minded person too, bro.
Huge entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He loves that stuff.
Get
he's always pushing.
QK, if you're watching, cut the shit out, bro. Get a hat and bring it on.
Yeah.
Or just come on and black your screen out. We'll just talk to your voice.
But it's so funny. It's so funny because I don't know. I told him, I said, I was always down to co-own with you. And I don't know how many hints I dropped on him just to try to I didn't blatantly say it, but just kind of, threw it out there a little bit.
Right past him.
That's how to get blatant with him, I guess. But no, super good guy.
Hit him up, man. He's got
handler.
What's he do? The stack boxes? Yeah.
Stack boxes. He does a bunch of stuff, but he does stack boxes.
Yeah, we got to get him on here.
And he also does the what is that shit that measures the dog?
The wither.
That word
Wicket.
left me.
Yeah, the wicket.
Wicket.
I think I've seen that shit because he's like he ran out
below.
He's got he.
Well, if people got on the shit, they were like, "Oh, my dog's 12 inches."
He deployed a smart marketing tactic. Like he attacks the fucking people that are out here screaming that they got short dogs when they really don't. Yeah. So like his marketing tactic was very smart, and it worked. Because the next thing I know, I seen him post and he had like fucking 20 of them in his truck. He was like, I'm going to ship them.
Yeah. You're like, my dog's 13 inches. Then you get in the comments, they're like, well, I'm trying to get Wicked off Amazon. I don't know how much. Your dog's probably 15 inches. You don't even know.
They are kind of hard to find, though, if you don't really know what you're looking for.
Right. Well, QK's is the only one that goes below 14 inches, I believe. I've never seen one go below 14
That's how
inches.
he's got them.
So it'll actually, So what is his name of his
quality?
Is just left.
No. Oh, we're in trouble now, Roger.
Oh my God.
Fucked up.
That's right. We done screwed up.
Yeah. There was your
Born Legends.
Born Legends. Born Legends. Born Legends.
Come on my ass.
But hit him up on Instagram because he has those.
Yeah.
And we'll have him on here. Like if he don't hear this, we should send him.
We'll clip it out for him.
Message.
We appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all make sure y'all come this Thursday. What'd he say? What, same time? Thursday, 7 p.m.
Same time, man. Bonus episode
same
this
time.
Week. So
Thursday.
If you have any questions for licensed veterinarian or animal chiropractic or any type of question when it comes to dog health, be sure to tune in. This is a free episode. So man, we'll see y'all on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Holla at y'all.